Andrew Ettinghausen takes the Sharks out, realising, of course, that this has not been a happy hunting ground for them. They haven't won here for 13 years and only twice in 28 years. The Sharks, undeniable premiership threats, and there's their team: Samet, Rogers, Ettinghausen, Donaghy, Barnett, Healy, Green, Lee, Raper, Davidson, Greenhill, Boughton, Nicow. Good crowd in at Brookvale, probably in the area of 12,000 people. Manly went out a fraction earlier. There's their side, and of course Mark Carroll pulled out today. Ian Roberts goes up to the front row. Daniel Gartner slotting into the second row. Kelvin Jeffs blows time on, and Manly against Cronulla. Manly running right, left, and Mitch Healy is the first of the Sharks to get a touch. Brisbane, Canberra, North Sydney, good wins for the Sharks in recent times. And there put down is the number 10, Les Davidson, back from suspension. Good strong hitting in there in the middle of the ruck, particularly by Gillespie. Tuvey in as the second tackler, and here now is Nicow. Sharks have been better this season when they've travelled. But incredibly, their home record last year was close on impeccable. It's been down, very much down, and away they've been certainly a threat. As the first penalty of the game goes to Manly.
Well, I think it took half an hour for ET to touch the football last week. He was troubled by that virus, but already he's injected himself a couple of times and looked dangerous. And that's a great sign for Cronulla, as is their defence early. Matthew Ridge held up 10 out from his own line. They really are hitting well, the Cronulla forwards.
Tuvey wrapped up by Cronulla's defence. A defence that is very intense. Lyons across for more. He'd been able to unload. John Hopewadi would have been in a corridor and nobody in front of him. This is Gartner, centre of the ground, tackled 30 metres out from the Manly line. Hasler chooses to go off to the right. Kosef is with it. Back for Hasler. Hasler goes looking for Tuvey. He finds Lyon, who's around Green, and then into a half a gap. Touched by Cronulla. 6 more tackles. Ridge is with it. And away from a tackle. Hopewadi goes down the channel. Rogers comes across. He beats him. Now Danny Moore comes along, puts his hand up, but Hopewadi doesn't need him. Hopewadi scores for Manly.
Well, that's what Manly can do this season. Very, very dangerous. Looked like they were going to make the break, but a Cronulla hand got in the way. That gave them 6 more tackles. Tremendous work there to keep the ball alive. Coming up too quickly, Paul Green. That allowed Lyons on the inside. This is the pass that's knocked down, giving them 6 again. Matthew Ridge reacted very quickly. Ettinghausen misses the tackle. I thought the winger should have stayed out for Cronulla, and that tackle definitely should have been made. Hopewadi, isn't he a strong performer this season?
He's had a great year, Hopper. Rewarded with a start in New South Wales State of Origin game for the Melbourne match. There's Rogers went in, he knocked the ball down the winger, and then Ridge drawing pass situation. Hopewadi from there always going to score. Too strong for Rogers, too much leg power, and gets over in the corner. And makes his 14th try for the season.
John Hopewadi from Tonga came to Australia at 3 years of age. Outright third on the try-scoring list is John Hopewadi. Matthew Ridge now from the 20-metre line, where it intersects with the 10 in from touch. And Ridge has hooked this. Well, that's refreshing in many ways, that they can miss occasionally. 4 points to 0, 10 minutes gone. Manly over Cronulla. The try scored by John Hopewadi as Tuvey goes across and works an angle with Owen Cunningham. Now they're in the centre of the park, exactly where they wanted to be. Lyons now back for Ridge. Very involved Ridge tonight. And then an evasive run that carries him to the 10-metre line. And Ridge eventually is put down 9 metres out from the try line. Across for Jeff Tuvey and on for Cliff Lyons. A short ball for Daniel Gartner. And Gartner is put down, no gain in ground. But Manly still dangerous. Hopewadi looks for his second try away from a tackler and put down a couple of metres out from the line. 5 tackles. Lyons the man to watch. He's got it now. Holds it up and throws the pass. Wasn't touched as they dive in for it. And Manly come up with it, but a knock-on against both sides is ordered.
Matthew Ridge on the far side of the field really having a crack at the referee at the touch judge about something. Not happy. It'll be a Manly feed. They're having a lot of luck, Manly, in the first 20 minutes, going right up the middle of this Cronulla ruck. Whilst the Cronulla defence very early was strong and tough, they've missed a few tackles of late. They've missed 10 in the match so far, and most of them right around the centre. Kosef goes blind.
Kosef working close to that touchline. And they're 7 metres out as they come across for Cunningham. Cunningham pulled down by Danny Lee and Craig Greenhill. Hasler now looks for Gillespie, trying to go straight up the middle. Manly looking for their second try. Hasler wider now for Tuvey, and Tuvey tries to beat them himself. Pulled down eventually by Danny Lee. They come across now for Kosef. Lyons is with it. The ball goes astray and over the touchline.
That was try time then. Only a bad pass from Cliff Lyons cost Manly another 4-pointer. He had 3 men on his outside. Watch him drift across. The Cronulla offence was nowhere to be seen. There was an overlap there. And just the dusty pass has cost them a try.
Kosef goes blind. He struggled tonight, buddy.
Sideline comment from Steve Roach.
Yeah, Nick Howe making the big mistake of sprinting up out of the line at Cliffy Lyons. It won't be long before he starts to put a few players in the space. Cronulla look to me like they're having trouble breaking the line. Don't forget Adam Ritson on the bench, dying to get into this game, jumping out of his skin.
Across from Samet, and Eddinghausen is with it. Just inside the 30-metre line. Greenhill chimes in. These are good yards being made by Cronulla. Samet again. Adam Ritson, the young player that Steve Roach was talking about. They come across the park. Green puts the kick in. It might have been touched by Manly. Makes no difference now. Good quick thinking by Kosef, promoting Hopewadi. And now Danny Moore. Eddinghausen across. And Danny Moore is tackled 12 metres out from the line. Cronulla in awful trouble as they get back into the line. Kosef on, Lyons across, Tuvey with it, then it's out for Gardner, and Gardner is put down 20 metres out. Cronulla at last have got their line together. Cunningham is put away. That's the 10-metre line, 4-0. 17 minutes of the first half gone. Tuvey over for Big Roberts. And Roberts is put down by the Cronulla side. Healy, the main tackler. Hasler keeps coming left. Lyons switches it back to the right. Tuvey with a short ball, and then a great tackle by Nick Howe. He really hammered Matthew Ridge. The last tackle for Tuvey now to give off. Lyons rolls it in. Cunningham, I think, is in front of the kicker. It's gone over the dead ball line nevertheless and comes back to the 20.
Well, Andrew Eddinghausen was the right man to be coming across in cover defence for Cronulla. Been very dangerous. Great tackle from Nick Howe and Matthew Ridge. Battle royale on this wing as well. Hopewadi giving Matt Rogers a pretty tough time so far.
Davidson, 22 metres out from his own line. Raper it is who uses the winger. Richard Barnett coming in off the left. Raper using Greenhill now. He's having a great deal of trouble making yards on the first few tackles.
Especially Greenhill. He's been very impressive. On leaps and bounds this season.
This man too, Danny Lee. They're to the halfway line. They've only used 4. Keep in mind they started on the 20-metre line though. And Healy it is that rolls it back down into the Manly in goal for Matthew Ridge. Eddinghausen has put on a keen chase, and they bring down the New Zealand fullback. Hopewadi now out of the tackle of Eddinghausen, tries to beat Rogers. They come over the top of the Matthew Rogers tackle. They're 11 metres out from their own line, but they're equally dangerous this end of the park. Kosef blossoming into a fine player. This is Hasler, and now Roberts. Roberts is able to take it well past the 20-metre line. As this 10-metre rule starts to have its imprint on the game. Hasler. Danny Lee was practically lying on the ground, waiting for him to run across the top of the tackle. It was like a bear trap. And now Samet back to the halfway line, runs into Gillespie.
That's one of the reasons that we've seen such good work from Des Hasler this year from dummy half, is the ability of the likes of Ian Roberts to stand up while he's attracted 3 defenders, getting a pretty good play of the ball with them still around that area. Got to put men on the ground. Roberts just so hard to do so.
Boughton forced back a couple of metres from the 40-metre line. Cronulla operating in Manly's half now. And this is Danny Lee fending and chopping his way through, but Hasler around the legs found the quickest way to bring the big man down. Green now puts the kick back into the centre. Healy is in pursuit, so is Ettinghausen. Here's a try for Rogers. It was battered down by Ettinghausen, and Matt Rogers scores for Cronulla to level it up.
Oh, great work by Ettinghausen there, who just went up like Magic Al Kareem.
Who?
Is he a basketballer? Well, he's someone. Kareem Al-Jabbar, is it? Anyway, he's gone up like a beauty. Got up above Ridge, had to force his way through, got the good run, and look at that for his skill. Don't worry about that. He'd been practicing that at training. That's a great skill.
He's a great athlete, Andrew Ettinghausen. Good work there from Paul Green, kicking back, making the ball arrive at the same time as the chasers, and that was definitely deliberate from Ettinghausen. Matt Rogers gets a try. He'll be happy with that. The battle out here with Hopewadi has been all one-way traffic. It's turned things around a little bit.
So 4 points all, and Matt Rogers has scored his 6th try of the year, and in fact his 6th career try. He will attempt conversion of his own try. Just getting back to that basketballer. Who was it?
I think it was a cross between Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson.
I thought he was a horse trainer. Didn't he own a Melbourne Cup winner or something?
He would have been a good basketballer then. It was a cross between them.
Anyway, thank you for that offering. I thought you might have said something simple like Kazali or something. Sets you apart from the crowd. Here's Rogers now from a wide angle, and he's offline, so both goal kickers missing with their only attempt. 4 points all, 21 minutes gone at Brookvale.
27 minutes, 28 minutes.
Cronulla will come out of this with 6 tackles inside the Manly 20-metre line, thereabouts. Ettinghausen, Green on the run round. That's made the extra man. Samad in from the back, and Tuvey is there. Got the pass away. It's a try. Scored by Barnett, the winger. He puts the index finger up as if to say, thank you. That's one I owe you. 29 minutes gone. The Sharks lead Manly 8 points to 4.
And we saw Manly put a great set play on from a similar position last weekend against Newcastle. This is another very interesting set play. There's a decoy there by Donaghy. Green, nice ball. Now this is where the missed tackle. This has cost Manly, the missed tackle by Menzies. That really put them under pressure. Hancock came in on Samet, and a nice try in the corner. All through that mistake made by Manly.
Didn't Ben Samet do very well in this one? Green doubling around. Jeff Tuvey had done a magnificent job to get over from the scrum to make this tackle after the Menzies miss, but Samet somehow able to get his arms free and position his winger. As Paul pointed out, a very good set move from the scrum, and all you're looking for in one of those moves is a missed tackle. Menzies provided that.
Richard Barnett, the try scorer. Great lead-up work. It was engineered by Green with the help of Ettinghausen. Samet played a major part. Richard Barnett put the capping on it.
And come back to that mistake made in their own quarter by the Eagles. They normally don't make mistakes down in that area. They're a side who will throw the ball around, look for opportunities to run the full length of the field. On this occasion, it's cost them 4 points, possibly 6.
Yeah, they can't stop doing that either, can they, Paul? Because if Danny Moore catches that ball, he draws a winger and Hopewadi's away.
The 20-metre line, kicking into the new grandstand corner. Matt Rogers looks lovely. Beautiful kick. Dissecting the uprights. And Cronulla leading Manly after half an hour, 10 points to 4.
Didn't Manly need it? They take the quick tap. Matthew Ridge sees that there's some space on the far side. They created the overlap with Menzies.
Greenhill covered a lot of ground to number 11.
What a good tackle by Greenhill.
Now Manly, 40 out from their own line. Into the hands of Tuvey and across for Ridge. And Ridge has got Moore. Snatching at the ball again, Danny Moore. And Cronulla come up with the football. Hopewadi could get penalised here. Referee had his back turned. I thought he might have penalised Hopewadi for not allowing Matt Rogers up to play it. Long. Good run. He doesn't look to be that big, but he certainly uses what there is off him to great effect. And this is Ritson. And a pass inside for Healy.
Daniel Gartner back out there. Ian Roberts has left the field as Manly under attack.
Cross now for Danny Lee. He puts the hip into Tuvi's tackle, but the little bloke is driving him crazy. He's around the ankles. This is Aaron Raper on the blind side, away from a tackle. Eventually it's secured by Gillespie. Barnett passes for Healy. It goes on for Andrew Eddinghausen. Now for Paul Green and Tawira Nikau, the referee, though.
Is that a knock
drilled
on?
Forward or knock on?
I think Lions went for the intercept again.
He did. It'll be a ruling of a knock-on against the Eagles. There was a gap there for Nikau to run into. Look at Cliffy going for the intercept, knocking the ball down. So there'll be more pressure for Manly as we've got a blood bin.
Yes, it's Donaghy coming off.
Donaghy.
Cut around the knee. It's 17.
Just inside the 20-metre line, Cronulla comes up with another 6 tackles.
So that means Adam Batoli on for the Sharks.
Nikau delivers on the right, the blind for Green, and he gave a flick pass, and Greenhill went to sleep on it. So they give it back to Manly on the second tackle. Ridge.
It's Alan Bateman in 17, the English import on for Cronulla.
Kosef. The Welsh audience won't be happy with that. Alan Bateman. We have got at least 2 Welsh people that I know that watch the program.
Plays for the Warrington club over there.
Now it's Gillespie. 38 metres out from Manly's line. Well, if you've just joined us, you join us with the news that Manly are down 10-4 to Cronulla Sutherland near the halfway line. Played by Gartner, given by Hasler. And in back play is that Lyons that's having trouble. Ball goes loose and Gillespie had to put his body on the line. The turnover is with us, though.
Well, this Cronulla defence is really forcing a lot of mistakes in the Manly team. I mean, not getting rid of the ball on the 5th tackle. They've done it there. And Ritson now carving them up the middle.
See the size of the man. Is it any wonder? Oh, a high tackle on Nathan Long.
Uh-oh. So,
Trouble. It is Owen Cunningham, I believe. It's gone. And he's been sent off. It is Owen Cunningham who's been given his marching orders for a high tackle on Nathan Long. No hesitation from referee Kelvin Jeffs. This is the send-off. Matches. The kick by Rogers is just wide. And Ridge. Alert Matthew Ridge there to catch it and bring it back. Menzie. Cronulla will lift now in defence. That's basically been their plan, to lift in defence and keep Manly in their own territory and work for the mistake. Nothing new about that, but Cronulla is doing it very effectively, and the tackles are driving and hurting. Hasler long underneath, and Lee over the top. No markers. They don't use that. Lyons uses Tuvi. He opens them up and crosses the 40-metre line, but the pass goes sadly astray. Hancock dives on it.
They've got a 6
for Manly.
Yeah, 6 more call there.
Mono's pass goes over for Lyons. He gets rid of Long, and then he gives it to Healy. Back for Eddinghausen. Now for Rogers. Rogers goes away from the sideline to be tackled 15 out. Eddinghausen a dummy half, realising that Manly have only got 12. They go across the park. Ritson in the centre, and Ritson looking to unload to Samet. Cronulla Sutherland come back now to the blind side, looking for Rogers, and Rogers is well marked by Hopewadi and taken over the sideline.
Well, they went the wrong way. If they'd have gone the other side, an enormous opportunity for Cronulla if they'd have gone to the left-hand side. Really read it poorly there. We're into the final minute of the first half. And the previous play with Richard hitting the ball up had taken away a lot of defenders on the far side of the ruck. They were skinny. They ended up going back to Manly's strength.
Tiwi away from the scrum base. Half-time siren sounding in the background. Hancock tackled by Barnett, offering it down for Danny Moore. And there's the referee acknowledging that the ball has gone dead in the tackle. So half-time is with us. And a great first half for Cronulla. 10 points to 4. Manly will complete the game with 12 men. Owen Cunningham sent off.
That is magnificent.
She goes for it.
What an innings.
It's really close.
Gone. Can you believe it?
Play for Oz. The next world champ. Don't like a beast.
Hope you've had your Wheat Bix.
Also available in Wheat Bix Bites. Try them today.
This is Barry. His rellos are coming over and his garden isn't looking so great. But does Barry look worried?
No point getting in a tangle over it. I'll hose link it. Reel it, connect it, weed it, feed it and clean it. I order online, they deliver it free.
HoseLink, quality products, guaranteed to work, amazing value. Want to make your garden a hit?
Don't forget, roses are 6 and ouch!
Love it, live it, HoseLink it at hoselink.com.au.
The new AI Smoke driver from Callaway doesn't just have one sweet spot. It has multiple sweet spots across the entire face, intelligently mapped by AI using real swing data, making AI Smoke an average of 7 yards longer. So whether you hit one off the heel, toe, high, or low, there's a sweet spot there. You won't just be longer from one spot, you'll be sweeter from every spot. The new AI Smoke drivers from Callaway.
Transfer your existing credit card balance into the Citi Clear Card. And for 28 months, you'll get a break from interest, tipping the balance in your favour. There's way more to a Citi card. The Citi Clear Card. Apply now.
Absolutely everything is on sale right now at Freedom. Get up to 30% off all sofas and furniture, up to 55% off all mattresses, and up to 40% off all homewares. Hurry, sale on now. Only at Freedom.
Say hello to the new McCrispy Bacon Deluxe. And say g'day to the return of the Aussie Angus Deluxe with beetroot. Macca's summer menu. Looks like summer just got yummer.
Feel alive at the KFC Big Bash League. Catch it until the 24th of January. Tickets on sale now.
Anyone care for a drink?
Yes! Are you ready?
Hi. Mind if I touch you?
Got it. What?
Bring the cinema experience home. Foxtel Movies. Watch on demand.
Welcome back as Cronulla Sutherland get us started for the second half. They take this lead of 10-4 into that second stanza. And Manly repeating it down to 12 men with Owen Cunningham sent off by referee Kelvin Jeffs late in the first half. Momono makes a dent in the Cronulla line early on, first set of 6. With Manly having first use of the football in the second half. Gillespie bringing it raw from the crowd. They thought that Nick Howe's tackle was high. The referee indicated shoulders. And this is Kosef now. Manly undoubtedly a very good side, and it's not beyond them to come from this deficit both on the scoreboard and in numbers and defeat Cronulla. But Cronulla's form in the first half was quite good.
I do think their chances were enhanced by stopping Cronulla from scoring in that last 5 or 6 minutes of the first half. The fact that Rogers missed the kick from in front, 32 out from the Cunningham dismissal, Cronulla going very close to scoring a try on a number of occasions. That has left Manly within a converted try. Could be very important.
Ritson was strong in the latter part of that first half when he was brought on by John Lang, together with Nathan Long. The coach, I should say, John Lang, will be hoping that they keep up that effort in the second half, particularly from Ritson. As Healy keeps it low, Eddinghausen is on the chase. Ridge is back there to bring it back. We'll take our half-time comment from the sidelines and Steve Roach.
Yeah, well, Bobby Fulton obviously wasn't very happy with Manly's ball control. He thinks they've made enough breaks to score at least another 3 or 4 tries. That's why they're behind on the scoreboard. He said, look, be aware of Green and the dummy half runners and big Adam Ritson on the fringe of the ruck. He said, just keep attacking down that Rogers' side. And he said there's too many one-on-one missed tackles. While for Cronulla, you can obviously think that Johnny Lang is pretty happy. He talked about the defence. He said when you play against a side like Manly, they can come back at you in the last minute. You've got to be on your game for the full 80 minutes. And they've just got to have a little bit more support when they're running with the football.
Kosef unloading from Menzies. The first base that he's seen out in the centres. Good run, a good bumping run by Menzies. 31 metres out from the Cronulla line. Last tackle is with us. They've gone over to the Lions. Lions across for Tuvey. Ridge is outside him. Ridge is with it now. Is that Moore out there? It is. And Danny Moore is able to get a pass away. Papawati, the kick ahead. Kosef is on the chase. And this is Samet for Cronulla.
And that was better from the Eagles. The supporters have gone up. Great run by Steve Menzies. You know, Davidson thought at half-time I'd almost be tempted because Menzies only touched the ball twice in the first half. To put him back to the back row and bring Jack Elsgood, of course, from reserve grade, maybe into the centres or on the wing. He's got to see more ball, and that's just what he can do.
There's Nathan Long. Now Nickau. Hard to tell. Now Nickau on his back decided to put a hand in the face of Gillespie, who retaliates.
I think that's a little bit of a get square from the big hit Nickau put on David Gillespie. A couple of moments ago, Matthew Ridge coming in, having a chat with Nickau. Nickau cleaned him up in the first half as well. A very strong hit from Gillespie. It was no surprise to see his number be involved in it. Bang. Drives him, puts him down. And just a little slap from Nickau. A couple of punches from Gillespie.
Just wondering if the touch judges have seen the first incident. And if they have, that should be a Manly penalty.
Well, I don't think that. I think it was just a little slap push kind of thing from Nickau. I think it's got to go against Gillespie myself.
Well, what did Gillespie do, though, to deserve the penalty?
Well, he threw the first punch.
Cronulla Sutherland take the penalty. The tap to follow, 38 metres out from the Manly line. Danny Lee again takes it ahead, and Gillespie fired up with Solomon Hamano. Cronulla go back on the blind side. This is Greenhill. That's the 20-metre line just up in front of them. Adam Ritson stampeding across them. Proving hard to pull down. They're 12 metres out. They cut out Long, go through Green, on for Healy, and then Eddinghausen. Tuvey's underneath him. Eddinghausen will play it 9 metres away from the line. Mitch Healy a dummy half. Paul Green. Now Nathan Long. He goes for the gap. And that is effectively closed by Hamano and Hasler. 5 gone for Cronulla. It's towed along the ground and red by Nick Kosef.
Well, that's great defence from Manly. Oh, Nathan Long hit Matthew Ridge, has been doubled back. He was held down low by Aaron Raper. Some of the big. Well, here's a knock on.
Now you'll find that Ridge knocked on as he got up to play the ball. The referee got a call from the touch judge. We'll go back to where Ridge played the ball.
Well, this is a great shot here from Nathan Long, just a body check. Even this early in the game, despite the fact they're a player up, there's the knock on there. I'd be tempted to kick a field goal if I was Cronulla, just to break the spirit of Manly a touch.
This scrum 10 metres away from the uprights. Centre of the ground. The lock forward takes it from the base of the scrum. Green's able to get it back for Nick Howe. Across now for Ritson. Ritson looking for support. Held by the Manly defence of Haslam. Now from Raper. Across for Healy. Then he dummies to Eddinghausen and uses Donaghy. 5 metres out. They go from dummy half. Healy! He's over, but is he held up? I think he's going to give it. He has. It's a try for Mitch Healy. And Ridge is blowing up.
We caught them napping a little bit, Mitch Healy on the blind side, but you thought that there were enough Manly players who'd regrouped to hold him up. Danny Moore was there. Matthew Ridge can't believe that the try has been awarded. Very quick out of dummy half. Hamono was still on the ground. A lot of Manly players involved. Hopewadi, this should show it up much more clearly.
Good surge there by Healy. The in-goal judge is right in line. Looks like right there he got the football down. So Cronulla, they caught the markers, just weren't awake. The great play the ball.
Ridge, after all of this, was called out together with the captain, Jeff Tuvey. That meeting with the referee has now ended. But Ridge was very irate, but looking at the replay, there's no doubt it was a try scored by Mitch Healy. Homono comes off for Manly. And Cronulla lead by 14-4. 3 tries to 1. Matt Rogers. 10 metres in on the 20-metre line with 1 from 3. That opportunity for Cronulla was made possible by 2 factors. Penalty off David Gillespie and the knock-on by Matthew Ridge. And Rogers converts. Well, that rubs a bit of salt into the wound. It's 16-4. Cronulla over Manly. Back. Brookvale Oval and the home side and the premiership leaders, Manly, in all sorts of trouble. They're playing with 12 men against a very determined Sharks outfit whose record coming into the game looked outstanding. Canberra, Brisbane, North Sydney, they all fell to Cronulla Sutherland. And, that pass was forward from Ritson. Being allowed to go, and Nickau will play it. And now Cronulla Sutherland have got the hot favourites Manly in a bit of trouble. Maybe a lot of trouble. 16-4. Just off at Sterling threes Manly. He knocked it back. That's how much trouble they're in.
Well, the Roosters had them down 19-4 at this very ground 2 weeks ago, and they came back to just get beaten in the end 21-16.
Yeah, they had 13 players that game too, Paul.
The scrum packing. 15 metres out from the Manly line. Far side of the ground. 50th minute of the game coming up. 16-4. Cronulla in front. Lions holds it back for John Hopewadi, and then look at the elusiveness of John Hopewadi. He almost ran through the entire team. Brings a big round of applause from the crowd. Now with Lions, Moore's inside, empties into a gap. Moore's inside the 30-metre line and tackled 20 metres out by Danny Lee of all people. On the blindside Ridge, back in now for the dummy half. This is Kosef, back now for Haslam. Raper couldn't take him. Tuvey's got the ball. He's away from Nickau. Then he's tackled by Raper. 15 out from the Cronulla line. Manly now coming back. Lyons away from a shoulder charge, flops it over for Hasler, beats one, runs away from Raper, goes for the line, and it's Desi Hasler tackled, a metre out, a chance for Manly. Lyons is put down. That was a great tackle. Was he inside the play the ball margin though? It's with Roberts and now with Ridge. Ridge gets his arms free. Roberts kicks it. It's in the in goal for the clean-up work, and Cronulla Sutherland are tackled in goal.
Well, they might need 13, Manly. What a great passage of play there. Gillespie down hurt. Hope it's not too serious. Looks fairly concerned.
In this passage of play, there was at least 3 or 4 try-saving tackles made by the Cronulla Sharks. Their defence tonight has been great. In the end, Roberts gets the football, and that's not a bad kick for the big fellow. Gillespie's collected something there. The arm went straight up.
Yeah, just hope that it's not a cracked jaw straight away. He's not the sort of player that reacts that quickly unless he knows something fairly serious has occurred. Tremendous work from Danny Lee. Blood bin being called here by the referee. Nathan Long did a good job to get Hopewadi on the far side, and then Mitch Healy's tackle on Cliff Lyons saved a certain try. This is a sorry sight.
Yeah, they've called for the stretcher for Dave Gillespie.
The other centre, a run from dummy half, and this can easily be the pattern of play for Cronulla. They know that they have got this match almost won. Simple football will get them home. Green, Healy, Ritson left a mark on this game. They'll think long and hard, I would imagine, before starting him on the bench next week, as Green step away from Hasler. He's a very hard man to tackle anywhere other than above the shoulders, Paul Green. Eddinghausen figuring. They go for the drop goal. The referee's in line with it, but he's ruled no goal.
And Andrew Eddinghausen got in the way of Mitch Healy. Healy wanted it first pass from the dummy half. Eddinghausen went through, ended up getting the football. And that just took the time and made it a much tougher kick because the defence had come through.
Here's Danny Moore now with his shoulder very much behind the wheel. Inside the 30-metre line. They come on the blind side for Kosef to draw. But Cronulla not being fooled in any shape or form. Gardner it was, and now it's Tuvey, and Tuvey go through the gap. Nick Hours there to close that gap together with Danny Lee. And we go to the left, and Roberts works up the centre. There's the halfway line, the fourth tackle, 16-4. 1 hour of the game gone. Kosef back in. Hasler tries to make ground. He does that, and the pass goes over to Hopewadi. And John gets the pass inside, but the touchy's flag has gone up.
Yeah, more mistakes made by Manly running into touch there. Shannon Nevin coming onto the football field, the reserve grade fullback, as Hasler makes half a bust. He finds Hopper out wide. Rogers harassed him, and finally it's been good defence over the top by ET. Ian Roberts leaving the field. Nevin, a fullback, has gone on, so there'll be some adjustment. Possibly Stephen Menzies as it going into the pack.
A little change for Cronulla as well, with Nathan Long going off on the far side of the field. David Boughton coming back on. Both coaches get a couple of fresh troops out there as Green feeds the scrum. 29 out from his own line.
Incidentally, you people that take your footy tab week in and week out particularly pick the margins. The close of betting was 7:30 tonight. And 510,000 is the pool. And pick the margins. And I would think if Cronulla wins this match, even if they win it, never mind by what margin, it's going to put 20 of players out on opening night.
So if you take Manly plus 13, you think we're in trouble? Or
I would say so, as Ritson gets a pass off. Samet is in from fullback, taken by the opposite number. Cronulla again on a good roll. They're able to play the ball quickly and keep it going. Danny Lee pushes on. Eddinghausen gets it out. Green back inside. Eddinghausen fleck passes. Boughton pulled down 9 metres out. The ball came loose.
Well, I'll tell you what, in anyone's language, that is brilliant rugby league. The inside balls, Manly getting tired in defence now. And look at these inside passes, and every time there's one throw and there's a gap there for someone to run into. Sensational ball from ET.
What a shame Boughton didn't control it. It wasn't a fitting end to such a great movement.
But every time they're getting to the defensive line and turning, looking for support, there is someone there in this Cronulla team.
Looking to push Manly off that ball in the scrum, and here's a penalty going to Manly. Holding the player. It's against Greenhill, Craig Greenhill, the second rower. And while Manly have had their problems tonight, and they've probably made more mistakes in this match than they would in 3 matches, and they've had Owen Cunningham sent off. On the positive side for Cronulla, this has been an outstanding performance.
I said it before, Ray, but I've never seen more players driven back in tackles than what I've seen Cronulla do tonight.
We were talking for so many weeks about the hard run that Cronulla had into the semi-finals. Many of us thought they would miss out on the top 8, but they've taken Canberra, they've taken Brisbane, North Sydney, and it looks apparent that they're going to take Manly with them. Lions in and away for Menzies to link up, and then it's Hopewate smothered in the defence there of Samet and Barnett. The last tackle for Manly, and Ridge goes on. Lyons is with it. He gives a long pass. Little question mark on it. Nevin goes down the sideline, and he puts it on the ground, and Cronulla come away with it through Matt Rogers. The game played at, I was about to say a furious pace, but it's had, I suppose, some fairly lengthy stoppages, which has aided and abetted the players stamina-wise, but it has been quick exchange. And the ball put down by Davidson. That's a fair ball, and Tuvey will be allowed to play it.
Adam Richardson has been taken off. Les Davidson back out now as Manly go wide. Rushing up Nicow on lines. He's still got one arm free. When they arrive in more numbers, led by Lee.
Cronulla's a mile inside the 10, and that's why the crowd are groaning. As Menzies is put away now. 41 metres out from the Cronulla line. Referee Jeffs was very strict on the 10 metres early on Cronulla. Might have gone to sleep a little bit on it late in the game as Gartner links up with Moore, and they try to put Nevin into the attack. Rogers flies down the sideline. He's grasped over there, 9 metres from the halfway, and Tuvey is struggling to get to his feet at the moment.
And Andrew Eddinghausen has made some telling tackles on the far side of the field in the last couple of minutes, forcing the mistake to see Cronulla come back up with the football as Davidson is driven back in a very strong tackle front on by Hamono.
Danny Lee. Just have a look at his personal performance. 28 tackles and 13 hit-ups. The big prop forward. Now they're with Donaghy on the left of the ground. Barnett goes into acting half. The last tackle, we're looking for Raper. And then for Healy. They're going to set for it again. No, he's gone for the bomb. It's a high kick. Beautifully positioned. The bounce. It's been battered down by Shannon Nevin. And it's a line drop out.
Well, plenty of trouble there once again for the Eagles. Matthew Ridge had dead set no idea where that was. Beautiful kick by Healy. And there it was. And luckily for Manly, Nevin was Johnny on the spot. Plenty of Cronulla people there too as well.
Well, for sure he was going for the drop goal. Nick Healy turned what I thought was a drop kick into a punt kick that really gave Matthew Ridge a headache. Shannon Nevin helped his more senior member out in no uncertain terms as Big Davo comes back at them again. And they're well off for depth when you can bring Davidson in off the bench or use him and Ritson on an exchange basis. Ritson left his mark on the game, and now it's up to Davidson to carry it on. This bloke Greenhill has been consistently good for Cronulla. Ansett Australia, I should say, give us the man of the match of the Friday night, $1,000 for the player of the match from Ansett on Friday night. Green across now. Healy playing confidently. Eddinghausen in, but Hopewate read the play. 8 metres away from the line. And Donaghy is the dummy half. He goes himself, Donaghy. He's very strong, but he couldn't get it down. Scrum will form. Cronulla will have the feed.
Donaghy saw a little chance there for himself and went for it. He beat a couple of tackles.
Oh,
wow.
Nice. Nick Kosef there trying to turn Donaghy on his back.
So Green now trying to get away from desperate tackles. Only centimetres out from the line. It's over with David Bowden. He sets himself for the line, looks at it, gets it away. Healy goes for it, and Mitch Healy is short. Hard to believe, but he's short of the line. Now, away it goes for Green to give on, and Barnett has come off the left wing. He operates on the right of the ground. Barnett to play it. Salmon up from fullback. Paul Green. Mitch Healy. Long pass for Nick Howe. He tries to stand Clippy Lyons up. Pulled down 9 metres out from the line. Cronulla Sutherland 16 points to 4. This is Davidson. Driving defence by Kosef. Aaron Raper, his pass knocked down by Healy. And it's going to be a turnover for Manly.
Silly play by Cronulla there, but what about the defence from Manly? Players over the line. We just saw why they're on top of the competition with that kind of defence under great adversity. Cronulla lost the plot there late in the tackle count. At 1 point will still win this game for them.
Reserve grade tonight, incidentally, 18-16. It was a cliffhanger of a finish. Cronulla winning 18-16, and they are top of the table, Cronulla. This is Kosef handing the ball down. Gartner getting it off for Tuvey, and Tuvey then away. Danny Moore back for him. They're down on the Cronulla 30-metre line. Only 12 men for the entire second half. Cunningham sent off. Lyons, and now Hopewati. Hopewati playing in the centres. Lyons, a kick back over his head, and then Menzies been tackled without the ball. Well, I would have thought that's a dead set penalty, and the touch judge, it looks like he agrees.
Well, the referee's missed it, Kelvin Jeffs, but Menzies kicked the football, then was held out of it. So this must be an Eagles penalty.
Matthew Ridge receiving attention in back play as well, was hurt as he took off from dummy half on the last tackle there. Daniel Gartner sent to the blood bin. Donaghy being spoken to and about to be penalised.
Well, that's a fair penalty. So the test judges tonight have been fairly much on the ball. So many of the men in the centre, they just get no help at all. These touches tonight have been pretty good for Jeffs. Whether he's had a good game or not remains, I suppose, for the assessment of all and sundry. Tuvey. Centre of the ground, the Eagles. Lions. This is Menzies. Steve now playing in the forwards. One onside in the centres. Lions. And here's a chance for Kosef. Kosef, he's over. Puts it down. Manly gets their second try. 16-8. 10 minutes to go.
And again, it was a short ball from Cliff Lyons. He wants players to rush up, as Cronulla have done tonight so effectively, but this time the gap was created. As he catches a ball, we freeze it there. This player caught out by Cronulla. There's Kosef coming up the middle, a nice gap. All the Cronulla players had come up quickly, but the gap had been opened up. He juggled the ball, Kosef, and then he showed good strength to carry Samad over. But what about the fighting qualities of this Manly Warringah side?
That's one of the reasons they're on top of the comp, not only because they're great football side, as Rich converts.
16-10 now.
They will not lay down this Eagles team. These young kids like Gossett and Daniel Gartner, Steve Menzies, they're under so much pressure tonight, and they're really coming good. Beautiful ball held up there.
Yeah, Mitch Healy was the man who ended up in no man's land, and he's been so good for Cronulla tonight, marshalling their defences. And the crowd going to lift this Manly side even further.
18,000 of them, Peter. It's a fine crowd. 18,045, and Bob Fulton wrote about his crowd in the papers today. They have become one of the very unforgettable crowds for visiting players. This is John Hopewate, 35 metres out from the Manly line. The drop goal becomes even more important for Cronulla now. Roberts. Kosef. Surely he will scale the highest of heights in rugby league. Lions purposefully trying to wedge Cronulla and get 6 more. Samet is back.
That is a very big play from Ben Samet. A good kick from Lyons, forced the fullback to field it as Barnett gets out of dummy half.
Nickau comes off as a big run is put down by Les Davidson. Out to the 20. This would be their 4th. That is Raper. That's the end of the 4th tackle, and now David Boughton. 40-metre line, the last. Healy. He's got to dictate, he's got to conduct the orchestra for them, and he does it. So this will slow it down. A smile comes on his face.
He didn't quite get it exactly how he wanted it, but it's a pretty good result in the end. By having the scrum set, it means that Cronulla can set their defence against this Manly team. Manly, like the Canberras and the Brisbanes, you don't want to take them on in broken field play.
Sunday night, Brisbane and Penrith from ANZ Stadium is the television match. Manly winning the scrum. Lions using Danny Moore. Next weekend, Friday night football, West and Brisbane. Sunday night of next weekend, Cronulla and Illawarra. Hopewate scored the first try of the game. The crowd really trying to lift Manly.
Good refereeing there too. Hopewate trying to milk a penalty. It didn't come his way. The referee telling him to get to his feet and play it. As Menzies pops one out the back to Lyons.
Roberts. Cronulla. Very seldom have you seen a one-on-one situation in defence. There's always 2 and 3 surging in. And Manly know now that Cronulla is not to be lightly dismissed in any semi-final discussions. Kosef, outstanding for Manly. Menzies unloading. Humano on the back foot. And Humano tackled on 5. So Manly again losing territory, even when with the football. Tuvey pushes it along. Ridge gets the kick in. It comes to the fullback favourably. Samet goes back, and Ridge is there to make the tackle. Good individual effort by Matthew Ridge. As Barnett comes off his wing, and he's done this a lot tonight. Now they're 5 metres into Manly's area. Cronulla will probably push it down the ground if they can and take a shot at drop goal. 16-10, and just outside 5 to go. Danny Lee set himself to run through the wall. Will they go for it now?
No, Healy wants them to go left. He's going to take it on the last.
So Greenhill takes one more, and this is the last. The markers will have to work for Manly. Here it goes. Healy gets the shot in. The arm will go up. It's a goal, and that's the ball game. Cronulla by 17-10.
Yeah, great work there by Mitch Healy. They set it up so well. The big run by Danny Lee, a 25-metre run it was, and that's the end result.
Well, he must have impressed Sterlo and Fatty, I would imagine. Danny Lee, he has had an enormous game.
He had an enormous game last week as well, Ray, against North Sydney. The forwards of this Cronulla side, they are what make them a definite premiership chance this year, because they hit hard, they go forward well. What about this performance from Manly tonight as well? You can't fail to be impressed by the guts and determination they've shown.
Cronulla comes up with the ball as it battered down, and I think Ian Roberts Just double checking. I thought for a moment he'd done a damage. He went through to knock the ball down. But Cronulla now, another one of the beachside rugby league clubs coming home on a wave. Been a great clash, this one. Davidson, 17-10. 3 tries to 2. Ritson is back on for another taste of it. John Lang and his players, they'll really savour this one. Healy on 5, and he puts it out on the full. Turnover for Manly on their own 20-metre line. And will that drop goal be the difference in the final wash-up? I doubt it. With that mistake, Cronulla immediately back on the attack. Tired work by John Hopewadi. Lyons knocks it down. And the ball comes out and the penalty goes to Manly.
Paul Green just throwing a pass there. I don't think Lyons did get a hand to it. They get a penalty, so go into Cronulla's half from the first play through Solomon Hamono. Time running out.
9-4 the penalty count in favour of Manly. Just in case you've joined us late, they're playing with 12 men, have been or will have been for nearly 45 minutes, with Owen Cunningham sent off by Kelvin Jeffs for a high tackle on Nathan Long. And I don't think there's any doubt that it was a dangerous tackle. I have seen players remain on the ground, though, for similar offences. But if Terry Hill had to be sent off last Friday night, then Owen Cunningham so too tonight. A look of despair on the face of the young Manly captain.
And every right to have that look as well. Dave Boughton's hand forced that ball out. Should have been a penalty. Difficult ones to pick up for referees. That's where the touch judges become even more important. Cronulla now just winding down the clock. Adam Ritson, hasn't he had an impact off the bench and continues. That pass has gone astray. Finally, Craig Hancock plucks it out of the air.
Touch of the football for Craig Hancock, only his 3rd in the game. Hopewadi takes it down just outside the 30-metre line. Eddinghausen across and cover. Hopewadi pushing him away. And then Lyons gives it on for Hamano out wide, and then back inside for Ridge. There's a gap. And Ridge tries to go through, but Cronulla again close it. They close down opportunities. Lyons locks the pass over for Shannon Nevin. The ball now goes in touch in goal. So it'll come back to the centre of the 20-metre line. Cronulla will be in no hurry to restart it.
Well, this has been a great win and the end of a great month for Cronulla, the month of July 1995. 4 great scalps for the Sharks. That'll wrap up a top 8 spot for them. Some great football. Johnny Lang must be quite proud of them. On the other hand, the Eagles have been defeated. The first half cost them. They played so ordinary, but they showed plenty of pride and guts and determination in the second half, let me tell you.
You'll notice that we are in extra time. And that, of course, brought about by the injury to David Gillespie. We're told that the news on David is pretty good. As reported by Steve Roach, the full-time siren, and the fans that have come from Cronulla Sutherland rejoice. 17-10. Paul basically has said it all. The Sharks tonight, they were great. Manly were courageous. 17-10 then.